Hello, this is John Hart, and we'll be going over correlation here between ascent in a running route, how hilly it is, for example. So we got some hills here, some ups and downs, and interestingly the net is 0. But if we look first to get that 0, we had to climb 487 feet and then come down about the same, so it's about 0. That's the way that platform does it. Garmin does it a little differently. I think they are reporting a net and apparently measuring differently than that previous platform. So on this first run on December 12th, there was a net ascent of 177 feet. On this one, almost half, just 92. And this one was only 80. This was 240. That's the highest in this group of 9 different runs. And we can see the pace there. That was about the slowest, and it had the highest ascent. And just yesterday, that was the fastest, and about average ascent. Here's a scatter plot. This was yesterday. The fastest we can see is 828. So we can hover our mouse down there and we can see 828. And the correlation we can do in Excel is 0.6. So that's a moderate strength correlation. Excel will not give the p-value that I can see. So we go to another site to get the p-value. Or we can do it in another program like PSPP. So PSPP automatically goes to variable view. So we want data view first. PSPP does not like this time format, so I converted it. It will not paste that column. It'll just be blank. So I just converted it to total seconds. So we'll left click, highlight, and then Alt to get this other column, skipping over that. So we have ascent and pace. I have ascent up a row. For some reason, Excel, if you have the label right above the first column, it's okay in the second column. It doesn't make the chart very well. So just a little trick that I've come across, at least for this version of Excel. We'll right click and we see both columns buzzing, and we'll click just once in that upper left, Control V, and we have that blank again there in the middle. We'll see if we can delete that column. Oh well, we'll live with it. Variable view is, what was that? That was ascent, and the other for 3 is pace. In total seconds, we'll just abbreviate that, SEC. And we'll take a quick look at normality, graphs, histogram, ascent, and that looks reasonably close to a bell curve, not a severe departure. And then we'll look at seconds. Click on graphs, histogram. And that looks pretty good. So we can do our correlation now. We'll go to Analyze by Variable, by Variate Correlation. And we'll load both of those in here. And we see that it's not statistically significant. If we had a few more, it probably would be. But it's close, 0.08. Ascent and ascent, that's going to be the strongest correlation. But that doesn't make sense comparing one variable to itself. So we'll come back to Excel here. So we can see this fastest run. Here's the time. Here's the feet of elevation, feet ascent. We can see in general, the time goes up as ascent goes up. That makes sense. So I just kind of recall from yesterday, I tried a little harder. That's why this is not falling in line in a good way. And we can, just out of curiosity, so here's the correlation coefficient. We can click on that. We can see Pearson, and here's the data that it's comparing. So we can come down here to that fast one, delete it for a moment, and it goes up to 0.85. So that gets substantially stronger. I went up like that to kind of erase it. For some reason, Excel will not omit that right away unless I do something like that. Kind of erase is what I call it. Now that looks like a tighter data set and evidenced by the stronger correlation. And we can come up here and do the back arrow to put that back in. And I have my comments here, which route I went. Bartos is my neighbor. That's often where I start. Right, there's a landmark, a street right in front of his house that I start on. NH, neighborhood. Neighborhood number 6 route is a 6 mile. I have my routes over here. Let's get this out of the way a little bit. Route number 1 is a 1 miler, and I have my link to that platform. I can click on that, and there it is. I can bring in the elevation, and I can see where I'm starting in front of Bartos's house. And I go over here for a 1 mile run. So yesterday I did a 6 miler. Kind of hilly. With about a little on the high side for elevation, looking at all these. Second highest elevation, so that dot we can hover our mouse over, we can see the 828 and 184 feet. So that's the second highest, yet it's the fastest. So my little conclusion is motivation plays a key part, not just elevation, but motivation also. And that concludes this presentation on correlation. And thank you for watching.